Okay, so this video is going to deal with simplifying algebraic expressions. Now, when you're doing these, the first thing that you would want to do is to put your expression into descending order according to your variable. So the variable here, in this case, is a. So the variable is the one with the letter. The constants are the ones without the letter. You also want to pay attention to the exponent of the variable. In this case, there is no exponent there, so that represents that there is a 1. So all of the a's are raised to the power of 1. So you want to put them in decreasing order according to your variable exponent. So let's first do that for number 1. So we have 6a, and you always want to put your equal to sign when you're simplifying as well. So we have 6a minus 11a minus 12a. So be sure as well to also include the sign in front of the term, because if you don't include the sign, you're going to get a different result. Okay, so that takes care of this one and this one. And now we're left with positive 12 and positive 11. So now you want to combine the like terms. So you're going to combine the a's together and the constants together. So in this case, we have 6 minus 11 minus 12 to get negative 17a. And then 12 plus 11 to get 23. So the answer for this one is going to be negative 17a plus 23. Now, number 2 is the exponents that I was talking about. So this exponent, for the first one, for x, has an exponent of 1. This has an exponent of 2. So you want to put them in decreasing order, starting with your x to the power of 2 terms. So in this case, we have 2 of them that have x to the power of 2. So we're going to have 2x squared plus 3x squared. So that gets rid of these 2. So now we're going to go on to the x's. We have 4x here minus 8x here. And that gets rid of our x terms. So now we're left with our constants. So we have minus 2 here and plus 5 here. So now you want to combine the like terms. So remember, you can only combine the ones that have the same exponent, the same variable with the same exponent, or it's just a constant. So you're going to combine these first two. 2 plus 3, so you're going to have 5x squared. 4x minus 8x will give you a negative 4x. And then negative 2 plus 5 will give you a positive 3. The same thing is going to apply here, except we have x to the power of 3. So that one will be first, since it's the highest exponent in the expression. So we have negative 11x cubed. And we also have a 3x cubed. So now we want to go on to the x squareds. We have one of them, so minus x squared. And now you want to move on to the x's. So you have 6x and 5x. So plus 6x plus 5x. And then our 2 constants are 5 and negative 4. Plus 5 minus 4. And if we combine like terms, we combine the first 2. Negative 11 plus 3. So we're going to have 8x cubed, negative 8x cubed. There's only one x squared here. So minus x squared. And then we want to combine our x's, 6 plus 5x. So we're going to have 11x here. And then 5 minus 4 is 1. Now, number 4 is a little bit different because you have to do some distributing / multiplying within the parentheses first in order for you to simplify. So my first suggestion would be to move the 4 in front, because in this case you have to multiply 4 and the negative sign within the parentheses. So let's rewrite that. We're going to keep the first one the same, but we're going to move the 4 in front for the second one, because you want to multiply the parentheses by -4, not just 4 and not just negative. You need both. So now what you're going to do is distribute or multiply the 5 to both the y and the 3. And you want to multiply the -4 to both the y and the 3 here. So if we do that, we get 5 times y plus 5 times 3 minus 4. Make sure you include the negative sign. Minus 4 times y and minus 4 times 3. Now remember, if this was a negative sign here, then it would have been -4 times y to get -4. But if this was a -3, a negative times a negative is a positive. So this would have been -4 times -3. So that would have been a positive 12 instead of a -12 of what we're going to get. So be sure to be careful with your signs when you're distributing. So in this case, we have 5y plus 15 minus 4y minus 12. And if we do the same thing as we've done above by putting our like terms together, our final result is going to be 5y minus 4y to just get 1y. And then 15 minus 12 to get +3 as our answer. Okay, let's move on. Now this type of problem, some students get messed up because they add in their own parentheses. So for number 5, I would say take precaution, because this is not the same as x minus 2 times x plus 5. You can't add in your own parentheses here. This and this will get you 2 completely different results. And this will not get you the correct answer for this type of problem. So this type of problem, you're only going to distribute the -2 to the x and the 5. In this type of problem, you will have to multiply x times x plus 5 and -2 times x plus 5. So let's do that. We have x by itself, and we want to multiply -2 times both the x and the 5. So we're going to get -2x and -2 times 5. So this answer would be x minus 2x minus 10. And you only want to combine the first two since those have the power of x to the 1. And the second one, or the last one, is going to be the constant. So our final answer will be -x, because 1 minus 2 is -1, minus 10. Now, number 6, you have to do a little bit more distributing. So let's first do that. So you can see that the 4 goes to both the x and the positive 1. And 3 goes to the x and the negative 2. So this first term is going to be left alone. But the second term is going to be 4 times x. And the next one is going to be 4 times 1. Plus 4 times 1 because both of these are positive. The negative 10 will be left alone. But then the 3 is going to be multiplied by both x and negative 2. So plus 3x. And then plus 3 times a negative 2 here. So you want to make sure that you include the signs because this will get you a different result if you do not. So we're left with x plus 4x plus 4 minus 10 plus 3x and minus 6. And if we do some rearranging, we're going to put our x first. So that this one, and 3x. And then our constants last. So this one, and this one. So you're going to be left with, if you combine these, x plus 4x plus 3x is going to be 8x. Remember, when there's no number in front, that's considered as 1. And then 4 minus 10 minus 6 will get you minus 12. So you can take this a step further and pull out a constant. So you want to find what number goes into both 8 and negative 12. So when you multiply it back in, you'll get 8x minus 12. So the final answer here, since 4 goes into both 8 and 12, to factor out completely, your answer will be 4 times 2x minus 3. Because 4 times 2x will get you 8x, and 4 times negative 3 will get you negative 12. Now, number 7 is a little bit more work because you have both parentheses and a bracket. So be sure that you know the difference. The parentheses means you're only going to multiply the factor that's next to that parenthesis. The bracket means you're going to multiply this negative 4 by everything inside of the bracket. So my suggestion would be on how I do these is to clean up what's inside the bracket first and then distribute the negative 4 inside. So let's do that. We're going to leave the 12 and the negative 4 outside the bracket for now. And let's distribute the 2 to the 5 and the negative x. So we're going to have 2 times 5 minus 2 times x. So 2 times negative x. Minus 8x plus 9 minus 7x. So 2 times 5 is 10. And then this is minus 2x minus 8x plus 9 minus 7x. This is a bracket. So let's rearrange our inside of the bracket by putting our x first and constants last. So minus 2x minus 8x and minus 7x to get rid of these 3. And then plus 10 and plus 9 for our constants. And if we clean up those, Negative 2 minus negative 8. Negative 2 minus 8 minus 7x will get you minus 17 for your x. And then 10 plus 9 is 19. So now I would suggest on distributing the negative 4 to both the negative 17 and positive 19. Okay, minus 4 times 19. Now remember, a negative times a negative is a positive. So this is going to give you a positive 68x. And this is going to give you a negative 76. So if we rearrange here, we only have one x term. And the 12 is a constant as well as negative 76. So you want to put our constants together. And once you do this, you'll get 68x minus 64. Now there is a constant that you can pull out of here. 4 goes into both 68 and 64. So your final simplified answer will be 4 times 16x minus 17. Because 4 times 16 will get you 68. 4 times, let's switch those. 17 here, 16 here. 4 times 17 will get you 68, and 4 times 16 will get you 64. Okay. So let's move on to fractions. Now, the thing with fractions is you have to make sure that you have a common denominator in order to combine your like terms. If you don't have a common denominator, you can't combine them and you have to do a little bit of altering. In this case, both of these have the same denominator of 4. And when you have a term written like this with just the x on top, that means that it's considered to be 1 over 4. So this is 3 over 4x plus 1 over 4x, which is 4 over 4x. 4 divided by 4 is 1, so this overall answer is just x by itself. Now, even with fractions, you have to combine like terms. So even though that these are fractions, you can only combine the ones that have the same exponent or power, and you can only combine the constants together. So this has an exponent of 2, but these have an exponent of 1. So the same rules apply here, even with fractions. So 7 over 12 x squared. And then we have these two for our x terms. So 3 over 4 and 2 over 4. And then our two constants of 3 and 8. So 7 over 12 is the only x squared term. But 3 over 4 and 2 over 4 can be combined. 3 plus 2 is 5. So that overall term is going to be 5 over 4x. And 3 plus 8 is 11. So this final answer would be here. Now our last problem is going to deal with different denominators. So in this case, you're going to need a common denominator. And in this case, you want to find the least common denominator of the 3 in order to make it so that you can combine these three terms. You combine all these three terms because they all have x to the power of 1. So you want to find out what denominator out of these three is the lowest one that can be altered in order for you to combine. Well, 12 seems to be it in this case because 6 goes into 12 and 4 goes into 12 as well. So 12 goes into 12 itself 1 time. 6 goes into 12 2 times. And 4 goes into 12 3 times. So you want to use these scalars to alter the fraction in order for it to have a denominator of 12. So for our first fraction, you want to multiply the denominator by 3 to get 12. And whatever you do to the denominator, you also want to do to the numerator. So you want to multiply both the numerator and the denominator by 3. For 1 over 6x, you want to multiply the numerator and the denominator by 2. And our last term does not need to be altered because 12 goes into itself 1 time. So you will only multiply the top and the bottom by 1, which is the term itself. So if we do 3 times 3, that's 9. And 4 times 3 is 12. So that term is 9 over 12x. 2 times 1 is 2. 6 times 2 is 12. So this would be 2 over 12x and then minus 11 over 12x. So now we can combine them because they have all the same denominator. Okay, so 9 plus 2 here is 11 minus 11. In this case, you're going to have 11 over 12x minus 11 over 12x. So the answer to this is actually going to be 0. Okay. So this is where I'm going to stop. I may do another algebra video doing simplifying expressions upon request, but I wanted to give a variety of problems based off of the things that I've seen students doing while I was teaching and some helpful hints. If you have any questions, please leave it down in the comments or you can send me an email. Thank you.